We're here for Disruptive Conversations, another opportunity to be able to experience what change can look like at any point in your life. Change is something that's always available to us, and positive change is something that is absolutely always available to us. Thanks so much for joining. We're going to be speaking about beauty and age, and that what is available to us, our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior, how we feel about ourselves, what we consider beauty to be, whether we look at it in different kinds of ways, bring it into our lives in all sorts of ways, and what that looks like over the lifespan. And today my guest is going to be Janene Mascarella. And Janene has come on already. I'm waiting for her request and can't wait for her to come on. Okay, here she is. I'm going to... Today is going to be a time where we really dispel and we disrupt ideas about beauty and age. I see Janene coming on. Here she is. Boy, we have been pretty seamless with that today. Janene, hang on one second.
Okay.
So welcome everyone to Disruptive Conversations with thought leaders, entrepreneurs, influencers, educators, authors, in which we deep dive into the experiences that women have needed to navigate and conquer in order to achieve their personal and professional success. I'm Dr. Risa Reiger, clinical psychologist, and I am an expert in change. I help people make positive change at any point. And the good news is that we're built for change. But in order to create positive change, we need to disrupt a thought, a feeling, a belief, a habit, in order to create your 10.0 life. And that's what this series of conversations is all about. And today, my guest, who I am so thrilled, and we'll tell you a little bit about her backstory. My guest is Janene Mascarella, and one of the ways that she helped me remember is mascara, which is a friend. Mascara can be your friend. And Janene has an incredible background. I have to read a little bit from her bio because there's so many different aspects of this. So Janene holds the answers to all your burning questions. She's been published in every top-notch title media outlets: Washington Post, Cosmos, Self, Glamour, Health, Cooking Light, Women's Health. I can go on with that list. She was beauty director of Bella magazine for over a decade, fashion editor of Luxury Living magazine, a frequent beauty and style contributor for Parade, and she is currently the EIC of Beauty Tips, senior manager of the contents marketing team at Kiss Products, and co-host of the B2B, a beauty and lifestyle podcast. So Janene, I am so thrilled to have you here today. And of all the things that I've said about you, what is it that I might not have said that you want people to know? And welcome to our community. And by the way, everyone, I'm so honored and thrilled. This is Janene's first Instagram Live. So welcome to this world of live.
Thank you. A little technical things to navigate, but I think everything's working, so it should be good. So I am the editor-in-chief of Beautify.tips, and that's the name of the publication. It's powered by Kiss Cosmetics, which has been around for about 36 years now. Everyone knows Kiss, nails, lashes, you know, in every major store around the world. I think that it's sold in, so many countries. And so I am the editor-in-chief of Beautify.tips, and that's actually the URL, Beautify.tips. And basically it's an editorial platform really meant to inspire and empower beauty lovers at all skill levels. So whether you're just starting out, you dabble in beauty products, or you're an expert, I feel like we have something for everyone. And I try to make sure our content is really just that, just empowering, making beauty fun. I feel like beauty should be anything but routine. It's not one of the things that you have to buy, you get to buy. It's a privilege. So beauty products, it's very confusing when you walk into a store and you see aisles and aisles of beauty products. So that's why I'm here, and my team, my Beautify.tips team, we're here to help kind of navigate the beauty world and give you some really top-notch beauty product suggestions. So
Fantastic, Janene. Thank you so much. So one of the questions that I like to ask my guests, and I think it's so important for this community to hear from you, is what is it that you needed to disrupt inside yourself in order to achieve the personal and professional success you have up to this point in time?
well, for many years, so I know you mentioned in my bio that I was the beauty director of a magazine for over a decade. It was actually 11 years. I was the beauty director of Bella magazine, and basically I wrote maybe 12 to 15 pages per issue. It was a huge job. Every issue, I would write beauty pages. I would also write some lifestyle. And I was on my 11th year of doing the same thing. And then I freelanced for many top-notch publications. And I was about to turn 50. And I'm like, I need to shake up my life and do something just really different. So I've never worked for a beauty brand or never did the marketing aspect of anything. I've always just been a beauty writer. And so I decided to go over to change my life and do something completely out of my comfort zone, like disrupt my life completely. I remember I was at the highlight of my career where I was going on these like really luxurious press trips to islands and reviewing spas and really like just treated like Beyonce everywhere I went. And that's why people were so shocked. They're like, you're leaving this beautiful job where the magazine owner, Vanessa Kappas, really just trusted me so much and gave me so much range to do what I wanted and follow my dreams. And so it was kind of shocking and disruptive that I literally said to my family, I said to my coworkers, I'm leaving this at the top of my career and I'm going to just go do something different. And I like literally started out small in a big beauty brand and I just climbed my way back up, and then I kind of convinced them. So I started working at Kiss about a year and a half ago, and then I'm thinking I wanted to bring it, now I wanted to do another disruption, and I wanted to bring it back to my wheelhouse, and I kind of pitched them this idea to do an editorial site, which they've never done. They've only made nails, lashes, beauty products, hair products. And so I made a PowerPoint, which I've never made a PowerPoint in my life, and I kind of just, I just laid it out there, you know, why you should hire me, or I was already an employee, but why I should be the editor-in-chief of this beauty publication, and why it's really about empowering women and not just about Kiss. It's all beauty products. Like, we don't just write about Kiss products. I write about everything. So, and they were like, go for it. And they gave me a team, and so now I have about 10 people on my team. It's like really amazing. Beautify.tips is really building such a beautiful community just of empowerment and just helping women just have fun with beauty and not feel so left out. So I feel like I wanted to change the beauty conversation, and I feel like especially women over 50. I feel like even with, it's not the beauty industry's fault, but even with social media and just society in general, I feel like women over 50 are made to feel like our most beautiful time is behind us. And I wanted to change the conversation and say, your most beautiful time is right now. So whether you're 19 or 90, you can step into your power and be your most beautiful and just feel confident. So yeah, I'm sorry that's such a long answer to your question, but I feel like I'm continuing to just keep disrupting and just thinking like, how can we move the conversation to help people just really find their purpose and power, and let makeup and cosmetics be a part of that conversation. Use it as a tool, not as something that makes you feel less than.
That's so important, especially that there's this idea of, you know, anti-aging. I know that's something that's come up quite a lot, this idea of anti-aging. Well, we don't have some very good alternatives about aging.
Right.
You know, aging is what happens to everyone. And it's not necessarily something that we're against. And that what we need to do, and one of the things that you're talking about in this particular realm, is how we step into our lives and how we step into ourselves at whatever age we are. And I loved that you were saying, and we'll get to the question here. I love that you were saying that, you know, today can be your most beautiful day. You know, today can be your day to beautify. And then tomorrow it can look different. Tomorrow you can feel different. And that you haven't missed your opportunity. You know,
Right.
you haven't missed it.
Exactly. And I almost feel like that's why I named it Beautify, because I don't want to anti my age. I want to beautify it. I don't want to erase. I don't want to subtract. I don't want to feel like I need to be fixed. I just want to just beautify. And so that can just kind of apply to any area in your life. And it's all about just being confident. And I feel like someone had asked me, I was doing an interview a couple of months ago, and someone said, you know, what's your best beauty tip? And I said, my best beauty tip is just give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Like, it's okay. Sometimes you'll have an off day. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look awful. Like, I don't know if I didn't sleep well last night, but the crazy thing is that I can wake up one morning and just not feel confident and not feel beautiful. And what's very important to remember is that no one is judging you as harshly as you're judging yourself. So how you think you appear. So then when I remember going to work that day and I just felt so awful. And, you know, I walked by a few people and I'm like, wow, you look beautiful today. And I'm like, almost kind of shocked that it's just because, you know, sometimes you don't feel that way. So it's okay. Even with me, I'm the editor-in-chief of a beauty platform, editorial platform. And there are days that I look in the mirror and be like, I don't know how to fix this, but that's okay. And I feel like your ability to give yourself grace really is so important because it just helps you move forward. I don't want to be stuck in the mirror. I want a beauty routine that is fun and easy. And the purpose of it is just to get out of the mirror and go experience life. So just go have fun, go live your life.
And that's so important. And I just want to say that you know, what you're talking about is on topic on so many different ways, because oftentimes we carry around our harshest critic. There is no voice, hopefully, that is more critical and harsher to us than what we say to ourselves. And the importance of being able to call it out, so that when you're having that day, when you're waking up and you're feeling like, you know, oh, this isn't my whatever day, that you also, when you're talking about grace, that you also give yourself the space of grace and say to yourself, you know, this is what I'm thinking about right now, but I also know that that's really not what's, you know, that's how I'm feeling. One, I'm not going to feel forever, and two, you know, let me bring a little more perspective into it so that we can bring that grace to ourselves.
Right. And I feel like it's not necessarily, some people would say to me, okay, 51. So although I'm never one to judge, and I feel like we discussed this in a phone call last week.
Yeah.
I've never had any injections or fillers or Botox, and not saying I never will. Eventually I will. I actually have this like kind of like weird facial phobia that I haven't even had a professional facial in 20 years. So everything I do, I cut my own hair. I haven't had my hair cut or colored at a salon in maybe 20 years as well. I just love just being in the driver's seat of myself. And I'm not saying I never will, but I feel like when it comes to beauty, I like to feel empowered. And sometimes people will say like, oh, well, you're just lucky. I don't think that luck has anything to do with it. I really put the time in to take care of my skin. I have actually an amazing nighttime routine where I moved all my products, except for washing my face, except for my face wash, I moved all my nighttime products to my nightstand. And then I lay in bed and, you know, I'll put the news on, or I'll put something on TV, or I listen to a podcast, and I do my skin serums and my gua sha, and I give myself a facial massage, and I make it more like, instead of calling it a beauty routine, I like to call it a beauty ritual. And so I really do put the time and energy, and not to say that there's always room for improvement, but you know, I try to eat right, I try to exercise, I try to get out there, I'm outside running. So it's not like luck. I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, you're just lucky. It's luck has nothing to do with it. You just put the time, because like it's all about self-care, and I invest enough time in myself. So I think that's really important. I feel like one of the best gifts I actually bought myself was a subscription to Audible. And and so a lot of times I actually listen to audiobooks, and you know, I'll do my red light therapy mask while I'm listening to audiobooks. And so I feel like all those little things, they add up and they become who you are. And even with a lot of times people don't even think about the people you follow on social media. So they call it a social media feed for a reason. It feeds you. So you have to just be careful not to constantly be comparing yourself to what you see coming across on social media. And you know, I'd like to think like all the comments that I leave for my friends, like, you know, when you see a friend, she's posting a selfie or a picture, and you're like, wow, so gorgeous, you look beautiful, you know, heart emojis, you know, heart eye emojis. A lot of times if we don't leave those comments to ourselves, like we're so generous in giving those comments to other people, and sometimes you have to just kind of stop and just be like, okay, I feel good. I have a sense of purpose. I have a sense of power. So I always try to like make sure I bring it back to myself, and just really try to feed myself as much as possible. And anything that makes me feel bad or sad, I just delete.
Mm-hmm. And what we're talking about also is this idea that we get to decide for ourselves what beauty is for us.
Right.
And that's where part of the empowerment comes. Part of the empowerment and empowerment, control, decision making,
Mm-hmm.
and that there are all sorts of things that could come across on a feed, but that we get to decide what it is that we want to use for ourselves. And we can decide that beauty looks all different ways, and that
Right.
we don't have to do it or be the same. And beauty can just be about also deciding not, that we're in the driver's seat, and we can make those decisions each and every day
Mm-hmm.
as we wish, and that
Right.
we are in control of that, and that you don't need to, you can have someone give us ideas about things, but that you are the decision maker.
Right, exactly. And I feel like a lot of the things on social media, they're fun. So I may not be doing all the TikTok trends you see that that a lot of the 20-somethings are doing, but there are some gems you can garner from that. And a lot of the things, what's kind of funny is we have for Beautify.tips, we have a contributor who has been a makeup artist for 30 years. She was based in Las Vegas. Now she's in Arizona. Her name is Jackie Alves. And a lot of the things that are coming across as like trending on TikTok, she's like, I did that technique 30 years ago. So like there's nothing new under the sun. So it's really just about just having fun. And I may not be doing all the TikTok trends, but I like to know about them and just take little nuggets of what works for me. And what's crazy is that even beauty products that I've used even 10 years ago do not even look the same or work for me anymore. And for a while, I was very stuck on, well, I used to use this foundation, and I'm almost like insisting, and then it's just not covering, or it's just not maybe it's a little too matte for my mature skin now. So it's okay to abandon the beauty products and the beauty techniques that no longer serve you. So I think, just like you said too, it's okay not to. It's okay to change. It's okay to change your mind. I kind of like to look at it as if you enter different chapters. So I feel like beauty is like a love story, and you tell your own love story, and you enter just different chapters in your life. And just because you finish one chapter doesn't mean it all adds to like one big story. So it's a new chapter. So I love opening new chapters, and maybe I'll have like wrinkles where I didn't have before, or see changes. My hair is no longer as vibrant and as soft as it used to be, but that's okay. It's a new chapter. So I'll figure out ways to combat it. And I'm always, as a beauty editor, I almost feel like I get to play with beauty products for a living, and it's like I feel like if I can go back and tell my 11-year-old self, like, you're not going to believe what you've been doing, what you'll do for a living, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I get to really do what I love, and there's nothing I love more than beauty products than actually people and helping people. So I get to combine my love for people because I love sharing, I love connecting. That's how we met. I love the story how we met.
Yes.
Can we just tell that story for a second?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we were, all you need is a moment, right? all you need is a moment. So we both were at Dress for Success, and I was online getting ready to leave, and I saw Janene and just commented about something, and the conversation started. We were
Yep.
like, boom.
I think it was my outfit. I was wearing
Right.
a pinstripe pants
Oh,
and a
you're right.
pinstripe
You're
blazer.
wearing a jumpsuit, that pinstripe jumpsuit.
Mhm. Yeah, so something like that, like a fashion thing, and we started chatting and exchanging information, and we got on the phone. And what I love about you is that a lot of times it happens with any profession, regardless of what profession you're in. A lot of times you network and you meet people, and people a lot of times don't really follow up and follow through. And I love how you were like, okay, let's make a call. We got on the phone. You're sending links, Zoom links. Like, I love how you just not only followed up but followed through, and that's really important because that's just kind of how you make things happen. It's just you'd have to kind of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it. I love that. Did you ever read the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins? It's like you have to just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then do it, and just do a physical action. So you texted me, we got on the phone, and then it's a connection, and it's just kind of like how life moves, is you have to like follow through.
Thank you so much for that. And we just, you were a woman of your word, I'm a woman of my word, and
Uh-huh.
we followed through and we made it happen. And the thing is that when people, we could have thought about it in terms of, well, am I networking now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I networking now? Versus, hey, there's a human being there, there's this woman, and she's like, oh, it would be really nice to just say hi, and whatever, just say hi and start a conversation. And that's all it is,
Right.
because you're not in front of a network, you're in front of a human being. And when that happens and you feel that moment, that you're going to soar together. And
Right.
you know and one of the things that I happen to love about this Instagram series, and I'm so proud of it, is that the women that I have on, they're from all different backgrounds and professions and industries and life experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and that there's so much to share that's important. And one of the things that you shared with me, and this comes back to, both calling it for yourself and empowering yourself to make decisions about yourself and about how you feel and how you want to look for you, right? Is that you said, and I'm over 50. You said, oh, I'm over 50. And people were saying, well, you're 50 now, you should cut your hair. And that there have been these like really weird kinds of ideas about what should happen at different ages. If you're
Right.
well, you shouldn't wear shorts, or you shouldn't wear a skirt that goes above your knees. And and that we get to challenge all that. And I wonder what that was like for you to just be, especially from your seat, to be challenging some of, like, you know, the to do's and the not to do's.
Right. For me, it was like really never a question. Like I just in general in life, I typically don't look around in terms of I don't try to go with the flow. I go with my flow, like what I'm feeling. And a lot of times it's even funny because I've had this discussion with my girlfriends. A lot of times if we're going out to dinner, everyone's texting each other, what are we wearing tonight? What are we all wearing? And for now, they leave me out of the conversation because I don't answer. I'm like, I don't know what I'm wearing. It's how I feel maybe 40 minutes before I leave. And I'm not judging what I'm going to wear based on, like, sometimes I'm way overdressed. Usually I'm way overdressed. Usually, like, they'll be like, okay, it's casual. Or sometimes they'll say, it's Janene casual, which just means just go for it. So
Wait,
I
it's
remember
what
also,
casual?
like Janene casual, like
Oh, Janine casual.
Janene casual is really just it's just anything goes. So I typically try not to keep up with the traffic in terms of that, and when it comes to beauty or fashion or my own decisions. So when people used to say that to me, like, oh, you should cut your hair or do this at 50 or wear blazers with sleeves. I mean, we're both
I know.
uh-huh.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I just think in life in general, there are no hard and fast rules. You just kind of like you dance by the beat of your own drum, and if you listen to yourself and your own intuition, you can never go wrong. So it's for me, it was never a question on listening to what I should be doing or what I should not be doing, or how I dress, how I live my life, and I love it that way.
It's, and this is a space of ownership, a space of empowerment, and that you get to be in
Mhm.
control of how you want to show up and how you want to show up for yourself.
Right.
That that's like the most important piece, because when you feel like, when people can wear and do all sorts of things, the kicker is when it's really in alignment with who you are, and then there's a different felt sense, whether you're wearing a pair of cutoff jeans, right?
Right.
Like jean shorts, and your hair's in a ponytail and you got a baseball cap on. It doesn't, it it's your ownership in that moment and the decisions that you make for yourself. And I love how you're really messaging that out, and that beauty isn't yesterday, that beauty is now, beauty is tomorrow, beauty is a year from now, however you want to define it for yourself, and
Right.
not to be boxed in.
Yeah, and sometimes you box yourself in using your old self as the model. Like, there are times I wasn't necessarily comparing myself to the beautiful content creator on TikTok. I was comparing myself to the me from 10 years ago. And I'm like, I would sometimes look at pictures and be like, wow, I can't look like that anymore. Because look at all the amazing things I've done in 10 years. I've earned this look. So I almost love that quote from Coco Chanel, that I think she said, in your 30s, you get the face that you have, the face that God gave you, and in your 50s, you have the face that you deserve. You get the face that you deserve. So I feel like at this point, deserving just means I'm happy. I've lived an amazing life. I keep living my life. I have two kids, 21 and 19, and that does not come without stress. So yeah, so life is busy, life is stressful. So, but I've earned every wrinkle. I've earned every gray hair. I may cover it up with
Your
some
decision,
box dye.
your call. Uh-huh.
Right, but that's my choice.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily thinking I want to fix myself in terms of like things that need to be erased, because I feel like I've every moment that I've lived has been so full and I've been so blessed. So I just want to keep living and keep growing and keep evolving and keep telling a new chapter for your beauty story, because beauty and fashion, it's almost like points of passion, like music. So the beauty brands that you use and the fashion and the accessories you wear, it's a point of passion. It speaks to who you are. So you may have approached me because you like my pinstripe jumpsuit, but when I got dressed that morning, I wanted to tell a story. And you listened, you read the story in about 5 minutes, and you're like, okay, I'm going to approach her and let's just chat about it for a second. So
Yes.
so it's about that, yeah.
Well, we were at Dress for Success. And so we were at Dress for Success. And one of the amazing things about the women who were there, the women who had participated in Dress for Success as recipients and coming in, was seeing women who just owned it,
Right.
you know. And so whether it's a pinstripe jumpsuit, a red comfy dress today, whatever it is, that when you're in your space and you're owning all of it, that there's a something that you emanate. And that's where your own personal magic comes in, that's available to you every single day. So
Love that.
yeah. So Janene, I know it's like half an hour, it's a blink. So
Flew by.
yeah, so people can find you and should find you at beautify.tips. And Janene is not just about makeup, but makeup or anything like that. Janene is all about the individual, making choices for yourself, not feeling that, you know, your beauty happened way back when, that no matter where you are in your life, no matter what length your hair is, no matter what color your hair is, and no matter whatever life is showing on your face, because you have lived, and that's a great thing, that you have options and you never have to be in the space of feeling that something's broken and it needs to be fixed, that you make choices, and what a space of empowerment that is for women. So I would ask you all to, go find Janene. If you have any questions, she's a great person to ask. I know that I will.
Definitely.
So thrilled to have you join us on Disruptive Conversations. If you've missed this, if you know someone who needs to hear this conversation, please know that Janene's going to be posting it. I'm going to be posting it on my feed also. And we're thrilled to have you here. Janene, this is our glam moment to take our shot for the cover. So if you need to do a little fluff,
wait.
Let me just fluff. We're
Fluff
going to
my hair.
Okay. Oh, fat X. Okay. Ready?
Mhm.
One more. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This has been Disruptive Conversations. Can't wait to see you next week, and I've saved a seat for you.
Thank you.
See you soon.